Here's a fun fact to help you understand the impact of how you impact a visitor experience. Remember this number, 2.9013. Psychologist and business consultant Marcial Lasada found that it's the ratio of positive to negative interactions necessary to make a team successful and is based on workplace performance. So think of your town and the visitor's experience as the team. It means that it takes about 3 positive comments, experiences, or expressions to undo the effects of one negative one.
Where's the restroom?
Are there some good places to park around here?
Is there a good restaurant nearby?
What's the quickest way to the airport?
Have you heard any good local music lately?
Where can I buy a souvenir coffee mug?
How many times have you answered some of these questions? As a tourism and hospitality worker, you're expected to know a lot. Now, it's great when you know the answers to these questions, but it can be a pain when you don't. You have to phone a friend, you're frantically looking online, calling your boss, finding coworkers to ask. Wouldn't it be great if you could anticipate those needs? Heck, anticipate the question they're going to ask and be ready with a response? That's what this class is here to help you with. When we look at service organizations that excel, what makes them excellent is that they know themselves and their customers very well. They know what different types of customers they have and the different needs of each of those types. The same goes for good, caring people. They know what type of friends and neighbors they have and what matters to them. When you realize the needs beforehand, it's actually easy to anticipate the questions. So, let's start there, realizing the needs. Just think about yourself and those around you. There are people in your life that come from different generations and are at various stages of life. Different generations have different needs. Now, I'm going to give you 2 questions that you could get from any age group, and then we'll go through how your responses would maybe differ for each group. Do you know a great place to eat downtown? Anything good going on this weekend? Okay, so anybody can ask you these questions, but your responses would and should be different depending on who's asking. So let's go through who might be asking and what their needs would be so that you can provide them with an appropriate response. We'll start with the baby boomers, ages 50 to 70. This group is willing to pay for good service and a good experience, but they expect good value for the price. Boomers are called the sandwich generation because they're often taking care of their parents and their children or even grandchildren. So there's a big need to make sure everyone is taken care of. So we just talked about 2 needs for boomers: good value for their money and taking care of family. Knowing these needs, let's go back to our 2 questions. Do you know a great place to eat downtown? We'll start with that. What would be a good response if a baby boomer asks us that? Here's where you'll slide in your own town's attractions. For example, you could say something like, yeah, you should check out the Lakeside Cafe. You can eat lunch dockside, feed the fish, and then the kids would love a boat cruise out on the lake. Okay, so how about our response to the second question? Anything good going on this weekend? If you're talking to a baby boomer, you might say, yeah, I think your family will love the Natural History Center. It's a great view and has all kinds of interactive exhibits, and it's free. So those are the baby boomers. Our next generation is called Generation X. Their ages are roughly 38 to 50. Gen Xers typically seek an authentic experience. Activities around culture are important to them. So, knowing these 2 needs of authenticity and culture, how would we answer our 2 questions? To question number 1, a great response for a Gen Xer might be, you should check out our historic district for a walking tour and learn how events right here affected the history of America. There are plenty of great restaurants and pubs there too. And to answer number 2, anything good going on this weekend? You could say, yeah, there's some great cultural attractions here. Let me get you a brochure and point out a few of my favorites. Or, you should check out our website for all the different neighborhood happenings. All right, let's look at our last age group, Generation Y and Millennials, ages 18 to 37. These folks are constantly connected to each other and want to go where locals their own age go. They're tech savvy and grew up as a part of an inclusive generation, so they want to be included and involved. So their needs are connectivity, going where locals go, reliance on technology, and being included and involved. First of all, this age group probably won't ask, but refer to social media sites. But if they do ask, how would we answer our two questions? Try to come up with something on your own. Now, this might be an age group where you would defer to someone their age to get an answer, and that's completely fine. You could say something like, I don't know, but let me call my nephew. He's always having a good time with his friends. He'll have some great suggestions. Okay. How would you answer the second question? Anything good going on this weekend? For Generation Y folks, you could ask, have you seen the things to do or events page of our website? It puts you right up to date with what's happening today. You can even tag your favorites from your phone. The point of this exercise is, by anticipating all of these needs before you even have the conversation, you can already have the answer available. And so you see, it doesn't really matter whether they're neighbors, friends, or folks visiting in town. The need is the same, like a great place to eat or a fun event. It's just the situation may be different. You might be thinking, how in the world am I expected to anticipate every question and then have all the answers too? And you're absolutely right to feel that way. Here's the thing, it's impossible to know every answer to every question, but you've got two things on your side. We just went over several different expectations of people in all the different age groups, and as we talked through those anticipated questions, I'm sure you were thinking of what your answers would be, right? So you've already got a head start. The second thing you've got going for you is it's completely okay to say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you. And there's an endless amount of resources available to help you answer those questions that you don't know. Another way to recommend great experiences is to have them yourself. I challenge you right now to go to your website and click on the Events tab. You'll find several different categories of events to choose from. It's a tremendous resource and it's there for you 24/7. Other great resources could be a coworker, a manager, a friend, the local visitor's guide, websites, brochures, the list goes on and on. You just have to know where to look to find the answer. So here's what we want you to take from this. Know who the people in your life and customers are. What age group do they typically fall into? Are they usually men or women? What are their likes and dislikes? If you get a wide range of customers and they're too hard to group, that's okay too. Just having an overall picture of who your friends or customers are is a great place to start. Then, try to understand their basic needs and expectations. Hopefully, this program has helped you out a little bit with that. What about where you work? Do they have a list of frequently asked questions with preferred responses? Find out what those are. If you haven't heard all of those already, I'm sure you eventually will.